we may have very different views on life, but they're still not going to kill people.
Welcome back to the Purgatory Progressives podcast. My name is Kai Kutsia, and I'm joined by my co-host Otto Maxwell and another co-host, apparently, Silvio Porcelli, my
Hello.
guy. Did we want to have a chat about the education system
We did.
currently?
Yes, we did.
I think right now it's quite a topic, especially in these times with COVID and online school, and same with the workforce. You know, working online and all that. So, how has it been for you, Otto and Silvio?
Honestly, I'm kind of one of those people who really survive off like human interaction. You know, like I'm not great at doing the whole online stuff. So personally, it's not working out too great for me at the moment. You know.
Yeah.
I don't tend to struggle too much, but
Yeah.
like, I can see how others can be affected. There's
Yeah.
a lot of people that come in and they need a lot of me and you work, like one-on-one work,
Yeah.
where they just don't have the chance to do that. Where you can show something to someone on paper in real life, it's a lot easier to comprehend.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I think that's most people, and the human connection thing is everyone. That's how we
Yeah.
survive. Human connection is vital.
Yeah.
It's
Definitely.
it's such an important thing because you don't want to be sitting on your couch vegging all day. Do you know what I mean? So having
That's
that.
basically what we're doing now. Like, there's no.
Yeah, no,
and you
but
you tend to feel more tired even once you've done nothing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Do you get that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All the
It's
time.
horrible.
yeah,
It's
100%.
trash.
This lockdown is like people's like energy, sleep cycles, everything has just
Horrible.
gone.
Well,
It's been fucked.
I've got a bit of a different problem. I'm like, I inherited my dad's gene where like I have a really bad problem sleeping. So I normally do all my schoolwork like after dinner.
Yeah.
I like don't do it in the day. I'm better at night. for some
See, I
reason.
don't struggle. I don't struggle with routines at all. If I'm going to bed, I'll die in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But I struggle to be motivated. I struggle to get out of bed and go, oh, I have to sit here 6 hours, talk to absolutely no one, basically, because you can't have a genuine like
No,
interaction with someone.
you just sit there and listen to the teacher go blah 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 blah
Yeah.
square root of 4.
Yeah.
It's like
They don't slow down. You know how you can even ask for help in class? It's much harder to get the help that you need here.
Yeah.
So it's very
100%.
easy.
Well,
I've noticed a lot of people falling behind, especially
Yeah.
because you need to pay a lot more attention. There's many more distractions. There's the game here, the TV there. Whereas in class, it's
100%.
you, the teacher, and maybe a couple of blokes.
Yeah.
100%. But
Definitely.
also, okay, the reason, well, one of the reasons why I left school was because you start here. This is me. This is the school. The rest of the people in my class, right? We start moving up, right? I get snagged on something. No one's
And they leave
fucking
you there.
stopping for you, and they leave
They
you
leave
there.
you there.
They
They
go
leave you
ahead
there.
of you.
And that's
This is
even
this is a big problem with just the school system in general, especially online school and during COVID.
Definitely.
It's all about the teacher as well.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, it depends.
Yeah.
It really,
You won't.
really
You won't.
depends. It
I wouldn't
really
have.
depends.
Oh, 100%. Because the person teaching it, if the person who's teaching it is interesting, or
And
you want
if
to
it's
listen to them,
involved, if they're
and
they-
involved themselves.
and there's a mutual respect between the two of you, that line is going to stay so steady and straight,
Yeah,
and you're going to
but-
progress
but
so well.
you can't rest it all on the teacher.
Yeah.
There's
No,
a
no, no.
certain extent. There's a certain extent to where the school system is faulted.
Yeah.
There's just so much content to get
Yeah.
through.
Yes.
If you look at a curriculum in maths, every single day you're doing something different. If you struggle, you're going to catch up on your own. Because
Yeah.
they have got to get through so much content. Otherwise, if they spend even one more day, you're going to be just that much behind every year that by the end, you're going to be on a whole different under level to anyone else
Yeah,
who hasn't
no.
stopped.
Well, I had that in like a pretty severe way, and like it's my fault. I like had a lack of motivation, didn't do my homework. No, it's me, right? But math was like my biggest weakness.
Yeah.
right?
And that's a big
I
weakness
had
for
this.
a lot of people.
And I wanted to be good at it, right?
Yeah.
And I can be good at it if I
The
put the time
support.
in and I had the right teacher, the right support,
Yeah, the assets.
right?
See,
The
not
teacher that I
not the
had,
assets.
the teachers that I had in my early years of high school were horrific for maths. Shit. Because I'd go, "Hey, I don't understand this concept."
They'd laugh at you.
Then no,
They'd get over it.
they wouldn't laugh at me. They'd walk over to me, go, "Oh yeah, what do you have a problem with?" I'd go this, and then they'd carry on and go, "Mate, I just explained that, but this is how you do it." And then they explain it in the same way that they explained it the first time. I obviously didn't understand the first time, so change it. Change the way you're explaining it so I understand.
Or even
Because
slow it
saying-
down and take them through the thought
saying the
process.
same shit twice is not going to
Does not work.
change. It's not going to change anything.
Yeah, I had a different
Yeah, but
problem.
See,
In year 9, like, I was in like top maths class, and the problem is that like my teacher moved really quick, and I don't, especially with like maths and science and stuff, I don't get that quick. So when I asked for help, she'd come over and like solve it for me, and I'm like, well, I still don't really know because you just solved it in front of me, and I zone out sometimes, and it's a bit of a. I probably could have stayed in high maths, but I just came to the point where I'm like, I don't really need this for my future. I'm more of a person.
On the contrary, let's go on the flip and not like butcher teachers. They're great, but fuck, if I was sitting and trying to teach a class of 25,
I'd kill myself.
Yeah,
it would be and this is another issue.
Are you kidding?
25, 20, listen, 25 to 30 students with one teacher is so fucking dumb. It's one person cannot control 30 children. It's impossible.
Yeah.
It is impossible unless you have a gun to their head. You cannot do it.
It is. It's
that's
a very.
That's why
job.
you see.
You can't do it.
That is also why you see, like schools from more rural areas, where they still follow the curriculum and they still get a decent amount of like resources to them, but the classes are substantially smaller.
Yeah.
10,
like literally
15 people. 10, 15 people. And they can afford to go through the content a little bit slower.
Yeah.
And just that tiny bit of pace helps a lot of people just keep up with what you said, that level increasing. They just allow it to stay there. But when you've got 30 children, 30 people to help, 30 people to get into the class, 30 people to get out of the class, it just wastes enough time that when you get up to the content, you've got to go, okay, this is it. This is how you do it. If you have a question, too
100%,
bad.
100%.
Definitely.
I totally agree. Teaching is a hard job, man.
Yeah.
It's a difficult job. But if
job.
you have a system in place as a teacher, because every teacher has their own system, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Every teacher has their own system. Year 9 for me, right, was a fucking train wreck. Academically, horrific. C's, D's across the board, right? And I felt like the teachers that I was with in each subject, it just wasn't clicking at all. Nothing was clicking. Then I dropped out and I went to TAFE. And I was studying the year 10 curriculum at TAFE, right?
Yeah, but that's also very self-paced.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
That's another reason why I dropped out and went to TAFE, is because I felt like I could go at my own pace, right?
Yeah.
But also I had 2 different teachers for each different day. One of the teachers, I'd maybe finish a booklet that was a length of maybe 35 pages in that day. The other teacher, however, was so good, I was able to get through a booklet pages maybe 35 to 65. I would be able to get 2 or 3 done in one day.
Yeah.
And they're shorter days because it's TAFE. So good teaching and a good system of
Because
teaching
good result,
affect.
yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's a
See,
simple
look,
formula. If
look.
you figure it out, then bada bing, bada boom. You know?
Yeah, but the teachers also got to be willing. But look, I'll share my experience with you. I came here. What?
Yeah.
I was like 8. I was like 8. I came into primary school, and I was
Mm.
very lucky. I was very very lucky. I went to a private school, obviously, but I just had the resources and the teachers and they had the willpower to help me and take me through everything. So
Yeah.
I would be taken aside by a single teacher who would spend the whole day with me and basically teach me English from the ground
Yeah.
up. And
Yeah.
even though this teacher had to go through the language barrier, which is a very hard barrier, we're not talking Latin to Latin language. If I moved to Spain, it would be just this much easier. We're talking Latin-based language to a very, very, very mildly Latin-based language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
English has a
Tiny
tiny
bit of
bit.
Latin in it.
So we were operating off of a very faulty Google Translate system back at the time. You know how Google Translate used to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You used to put a
Yeah.
word, you used to get a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And so we just go back and forth. Hi, how are you? Blah blah blah. And then they started giving me an extra teacher. So at recess and lunch, they'd pull me out and put me with this other lady. And I just did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And I got to the point where I got it to year 7, and I'm like, fuck, I'm up to what these guys are up to. And now I know
Yeah.
a language on top of them.
Yeah.
So now
Exactly.
I'm year 8, year 9, and you're getting there, and I'm starting to beat these people because I've had the support from these teachers. And I
Yeah.
think thanks to the struggle that some people go to, they get
Mm.
support and they get help, and they go even higher than the others.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like you kind of don't really have a choice as a as
Yeah, it's
someone from
either
a
learn it
foreign
or
country.
learn it.
You're
You don't
sort
you
of
don't
it's either you learn or you can't get a job, can't pay bills, and
can't
you're homeless
survive.
now.
Right. So start of the year, Joe Biden wanted the Americans to pull out. The Americans pulled out. Basically, all of the Americans' allies pulled out, and now the Taliban's running rampant in Afghanistan. They've just taken the capital, and there's a whole bunch of people struggling to get out. And Australia is not doing as great as we would want to in terms of evacuating people who helped Australia, because we had the opportunity to do this a while ago. We had the opportunity to get all these people that helped Australia during the initial war to get out.
Yeah.
And now the problem now is that we might not be able to get everybody out, which will discourage people from taking our side in the future, which is a big
Yeah.
issue in my opinion.
Oh, 100%. Well, I feel like don't make promises you can't keep.
100%, yeah.
It wasn't
Full
a
stop.
promise. It wasn't a promise. If you think about it, everything started from the attack on the Twin Towers. That's when, I don't know who was the president at the time, but it was before Obama.
Yeah.
And
Come on, Otto.
I don't know.
Surely.
Bush,
Bush,
Jr.
bro.
Bush came out and he said, "We're done. We're over it. Yous are getting out of that country." So they started taking city by city. They take Kabul, which was the capital, and
Yeah.
obviously they thought they were done. But when you try to convert a whole Islamic state and then you leave them and you run them dry, because they had no military. So when you leave a deserted state with still just hidden Islamic extremists, we get it. You killed like the big guy. What was his name?
Osama bin Laden.
Osama bin Laden.
Osama
They
bin
killed the
Laden.
bloke. So they're like, okay, we're done. But Islamic extremists are always going to come out. There's always going to be interpretations of the Islamic faith.
Definitely.
But
they won't 100%. Stop.
Because
unless
if you
leave the country,
yeah,
unless you leave the country with a proper foundation where the country can defend itself and not crumble, where its people have the confidence and have the safety and will not submit to this, where they go, no, that is not right.
Yeah, definitely.
And they will fight back.
Well,
whereas these people were left already in a vulnerable like state.
Yeah.
They were still scared of the Taliban.
Well,
So
yeah.
at the moment that
But-
America, their only support came
Well,
in,
yeah.
they
Well,
were left stranded.
basically, what happens in like those really, really war torn states is that whenever there's chaos, I've said it a lot of times before, whenever there's chaos, that breeds extremism. And now it would happen. It happened a little bit in Ireland in the 70s with the IRA, but especially now, considering the state of Islamic states such as Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan, they're all reading the Quran and taking their very own, mindset on
interpretation of it.
interpretation.
But think about it this way: when we were talking about Osama bin Laden, if as a religious person, I'm not religious, but if I were a religious person and I was able to believe in something that I haven't seen with my own eye, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy. Whether or not the leader is dead or alive, you're still going to believe in that higher power. And you're
100%.
still going to follow till
100%.
you drop
So
dead.
the extremist never ends.
Yeah,
They
100%.
don't.
Yes,
there's
because
no stop button.
it's such a tight knit religion, I guess, or like a
It's very emotionally set.
Yeah, definitely.
I feel like it's a lot more involved, and because like, okay, you take for instance like
There's a lot more
Christianity.
rules.
Take like Christianity for instance, right?
Mhm.
You know, don't have sex till you get married or whatever, just as a simple thing. There's people who say they're Christian who have had sex before they're married.
Yeah, but they're unpracticing Christians. They're not. They're counted. They're counted when they go and tick that census box. But you need to be a practicing Christian to really affiliate with the faith. But there's also a big difference between
Come on,
interpretations
Silvio.
and misinterpret. Okay, mate, you warmed me up.
Come on,
There's a big difference because there's a difference between interpretation and simple ignorance. Christian ignorance to defy the word of God.
It's a social status.
Yeah, but it's also morally not exactly acceptable, but it's not condemnable.
Yeah, you can beg for forgiveness.
That's the whole purpose of the religion.
Yeah, definitely.
But when your religion is so flawed that it can be so corruptedly viewed like fucking Quran, where you're killing people.
It happens a lot more in the Islamic states, as we were talking about earlier. Honor killings, which is a big thing. If the chick in your like your wife defies you are allowed to pretty much kill her to save your honor, which is insane. I'm not very educated on Islam, but I think it is a bastardized interpretation of the Quran. Because I know plenty of Muslims that
there is many interpretations of the Quran.
Yeah,
there are very good ones. There are very, very good Muslims.
Yeah,
I have met very, very good Muslims. We may have we may have very different views on life, but they're still not going to kill people.
Yeah, exactly, and especially somebody so close to them, such as their wife or their kids.
Yeah, 100%. But I feel like, Sylvia, have you read the Quran?
No, I've got a very, very intermediate
sort of rough
basis.
Yeah, I don't have enough information on what it says. So if I'm wrong, leave a comment below.
I'll try to correct you
because
with my
I would
knowledge.
with you. Yeah, that'd be good because I'm I'm okay. I'm okay.
Not infallible. Obviously not infallible.
In Judaism, we've got kosher, which a lot of people interpret as not being able to eat pork, but really, kosher is all the really disgusting eating animals. So yeah, pigs eat
all
slop,
dirty animals. All dirty animals.
Yeah, all
anything
dirty
with
animals. Fish,
calf hoofs, and what else is it? Oh, mate, I've just finished reading the book. I should be fresh on this.
Yeah, it's any dirty animal pretty much that used to breed disease back in the day, and that was the purpose for it.
I think anything with wings.
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, and
God isn't drawing the line at the deli aisle, bruv. Like,
and like smoking stuff. smoking's it's kosher. Like if you're Jewish, you're not allowed to smoke. But there's plenty of Jews that I know who won't eat pork but will smoke and drink alcohol every weekend. You know.
See,
So
there's actually a verse in Deuteronomy. I don't know where, but it talks not to get drunk on the vine, which is not to drink too much wine.
yeah,
But there's so many people who go against that. But
yeah,
there's always a difference because we're on the topic of obviously Islam and misinterpretation. You
yeah,
can
Yeah.
misinterpret Jewish scripture, but that is not going to lead you to kill someone.
yeah.
It is stated
Definitely.
3 times in the
No,
Pentateuch.
this isn't.
Thou shalt not
I don't.
kill.
But this is not religion. This is abusing power or
Yeah,
abusing
definitely,
religion.
definitely.
Or
It's
as
100% because
Westernly
it's they're
defined
manipulating.
terrorism.
You're manipulating people.
That's all right, mate.
Every religion fundamentally is pretty much just morals that you want to live by. It's in Christianity,
There's moral
Judaism,
basis to everything.
Islam, Buddhism,
Even Buddhism
Hinduism,
contributes
all
and
of
it's got a
them.
moral.
Yeah, you want to be the best version of yourself as possible according to the real text.
The scriptures that you believe.
Yeah, and that's the basis of the terrorist groups. They take small little
They
meanings out of the Quran and
they
they're
can
like,
take very many things very seriously.
yeah, definitely. It's and that's a big problem. And another thing that happens that happened in Afghanistan for a starter. So, in Afghanistan, when the US went in there, they pretty much just cleared the country whole and didn't set up the proper infrastructure. You know. And what you really need in a broken country like that is health system, education system,
foundation,
women's
what we were
rights,
talking
you
about
know,
before.
all that stuff. You need a foundation.
Yeah.
And the Americans, they did their job pretty much, but if they really wanted Afghanistan to succeed as a country, they needed to set up those institutions. But that's a whole other question, because will the
That's a
US
whole
want to
other
spend that
conversation.
money, you know? And
Yeah, who would want to invest in something that's not their country?
Yeah,
Obviously,
exactly.
they wouldn't have a very strong economy with such a broken country, such
Yeah,
a
no.
untrust from their own peoples.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And there's a group of people who are actually starting to believe what the Taliban says, because the Taliban came out on camera and said, "Yeah, we'll give women's rights."
Oh yes, I've seen the interview
But-
actually.
Yeah,
They-
but,
they-
but
the
why
press conference.
trust a terrorist organization?
But you have to, wait, Otto, you have to listen very closely to what they say. They say they will abide all their requests to the restrictions
Of
of
the
their
Quran.
interpretation
Yeah,
of the Quran. We can
So,
say you cannot
it's-
kill, but if the Quran to them says kill this bloke because you feel like it,
yeah,
that is still going to their restrictions of their
It's
interpretation.
the same
Definitely,
thing.
yeah.
People.
Nothing's changing.
It's a fool's word
yeah.
to say we're gonna do what we feel like.
yeah.
According to what we
No,
believe.
it's just a long way
it's
of
their
saying
way-
it.
it's their way of saying we're gonna do exactly the same shit that we were doing before.
And then all these people
Yes,
in the West are going
yes,
like, "Oh
exactly.
no, they won't.
Oh my
They're all
God.
good."
Yeah, but like, how many people can you kill and still be trusted?
Yeah,
If
exactly.
Hitler came here and said, "You know what? I'll stop killing the Jews just for you," yeah, would
Yeah.
you believe the bloke or would you still want to kill him?
Yeah, no,
Because
it's
I
exactly
still
the
want
same.
him to die.
Yeah, me too.
Just leave it up
that's a
to
good
God, my
point.
friend. Let him punish, and we'll all be happy. Trust me.
Indeed.
Yeah,
Except
definitely.
Hitler, he's not going to be very happy.
Yeah, fair trial. Look, how about the death penalty? Are you guys for or against the death penalty?
No, against.
Me
Against.
too. How about
Against.
you, Kai? Are you against it?
Come on, there's gotta be like something. There's gotta be something where you're
Well-
like, okay, that guy deserves to die.
I
Like,
actually,
there
Where
can't
do you
be.
draw the line, Kai? Where do you
Actually,
draw the line?
I draw the line, and this is gonna take a massive turn, but I'm gonna draw the line at suing Nirvana for using a baby photo of you in their Nevermind album and saying that it
It
caused you
seems to be
emotional
a very
distress.
personal interpretation of the
Yeah.
death penalty.
Did you
Kai,
did you
feel
hear
free to
did you-
elaborate.
did you hear that story? It
Yeah,
only
yeah,
happened
I
like
have
this
no
week.
clue what you're on about.
Okay. The very famous
I know who Nirvana is.
punk rock band Nirvana had an album called Nevermind, and the cover was of a baby in the middle of water chasing a dollar bill, right?
Naked, by the way.
The
Oh.
the guy
It's literally
in that
toilet paper ads with naked babies.
Yeah, exactly.
exactly the guy who was in the photo has just
The
sued
child.
Nirvana for
Child.
yes, the child in the photo is grown up now
Mm.
because
sued
Nirvana is from ages ago, brother.
Yeah,
Nirvana
but you can't
is
sue anyone for their own intellectual right.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a certain
no,
extent that you can put, there's a
but
certain extent that
this
you
is
can
the
put it
thing.
into
This is
child pornography, but obviously if it was allowed on air, it's definitely suitable.
Mm.
and you know what else?
What?
It's a white ass baby. Looks exactly the same as every other white ass
Other
fucking
baby.
baby.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
but it's definitely
I
not
don't.
like defamation. It's not.
How
It's the bloke's not
how are
saying
you
that it's
supposed?
him.
No one knows who the fuck. The only way people know who the baby in the photo is
If
because he
yourself.
sued Nirvana this week. That's the only that no one fucking
Oh, yeah.
cared about this guy.
What was his basis to sue?
To sue, like pretty much child pornography or
I knew it.
Yeah.
Called it.
yeah.
So
And apparently it caused him emotional distress and couldn't get any jobs, you know, because
Mate,
of this.
you shouldn't be
No
suing
one
your
knows
parents.
who you
Sue your
are, bruv.
parents.
The only
You shouldn't
way
be
people
suing your parents.
listen, the only way people are gonna know it's you in the photo is if you tell them. So
Yeah.
it's his fault.
so this
His
links
fault.
back to the death penalty. How? Or we're
Pardon?
just going on a tangent.
That's the line I'm drawing. Thank you, everybody, for watching the Purgatory Progressives podcast. Our socials are in the description below. Leave a like and subscribe, and there'll be a new video next week.
We'll see you soon.
We'll see you later.